When the towers fell, heroes rose. But one of them wasn't a firefighter or a cop. He was a 24-year-old bond trader with a red bandana in his pocket. And when others ran down, he went up, over and over, until the end. This is the true story of Welles Crowther, the man in the red bandana. He always carried it, folded neatly, tucked into his back pocket, a red bandana. It started when he was a boy. His father gave it to him one day, a small, bright gift, something simple. He wore it under his hockey helmet, then during lacrosse games, in college, and eventually even under the crisp suit he wore to work in Manhattan. Welles Crowther didn't stand out in a crowd. At 24, he was a junior associate at a finance firm, working in the South Tower of the World Trade Center. A former athlete, disciplined, reliable, kind but quiet, sharp-minded but never boastful. To his parents, he was the kind of son who called just to say hi. To his friends, the one who stayed calm when everyone else panicked. And to most of the world, he was one of many young professionals commuting to their office in the sky. One of thousands. Just another day. Just another morning. Until 8:46 a.m. The first plane hit the North Tower. At first, confusion. Then panic. Sirens. Shaking glass. The smell of jet fuel. Then, at 9:03 a.m., the South Tower was struck. The building rocked. Lights flickered. Ceilings collapsed. Smoke poured into corridors like a living thing. People screamed, cried, scrambled to find the stairs. Anything. A way out. But in the heart of that chaos, someone was moving differently. Not down. Upper. A man. With a red bandana over his nose and mouth. Eyes clear. Voice steady. He found a woman unable to walk. Carried her. Led others, dozens at a time, down 17 flights of stairs to safety. "This way," he said. "I know the way." Then once they were safe, he turned around and went back up. He did it again and again. Each time deeper into the fire. Each time risking everything. He didn't stop, not until the building came down. Months passed. Wells's family waited, hoped, feared. His body was eventually found, near a group of firefighters. He had no gear, no mask, just a suit and a bandana. He'd never left the building. No one knew what he had done. Not yet. Then one day his mother was watching a documentary. A survivor was speaking, her voice trembling as she described the man who had saved her. "He was wearing a red bandana," she said. "He carried me. He kept going back for others." A pause, a breath held. Allison Crowther sat bolt upright. She knew. It was her son. She reached out. More survivors came forward. 6, then more. Each with the same story. The man with the red bandana. Their angel in the smoke. Welles didn't wear a cape. He didn't have a title that commanded respect in moments of disaster. He was just a young man in a suit, sitting at a desk, living a life that, on the surface, seemed ordinary. But the red bandana in his pocket wasn't just a habit from childhood. It was a quiet declaration of identity, of roots, of something deeper. On September 11th, when the alarm sounded and the stairwells filled with panic, it wasn't protocol or training that carried him upward. It was instinct. It was character. Where others saw a death trap, he saw people who needed help. He didn't stop to think about legacy. He didn't wonder who would remember him. He just moved, carried, directed, returned, again and again. In that smoke-filled chaos, the red bandana became more than cloth. It became a signal of hope, a guidepost for the lost, and ultimately, the mark of a man who chose, in the darkest moment, to be light for others. The world finally knew his name, Welles Remy Crowther, not a firefighter, not a soldier, not trained for disaster. Just a young man in a suit who, when everything fell apart, rose up. He had a chance to escape, but he didn't take it, because others needed help. His story became more than a headline. It became a legacy. Every year now, Boston College lacrosse players wear red bandanas during their biggest game. High school students tell his story in classrooms. A foundation in his name helps build young leaders. Even a U.S. president told his story at Ground Zero, calling him proof that, even in chaos, ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And everywhere, on wrists, on jerseys, tied to fences, red bandanas appear. waving not in fashion, but in remembrance. Think about that moment, the air thick with smoke, the world ending around him. And yet, he climbs back up those stairs, one more time, 2 more lives, 10, 18. He didn't ask for recognition. He wasn't trying to be a hero. He just saw people who needed help, and he couldn't walk away. Maybe that's what makes it matter more. Not the bandana, not the building, but the choice to turn back, the choice to lead, the choice to become something more than just another name on a list. Welles Crowther didn't live forever, but what he did will, because sometimes all it takes to change the world is a young man, a stairwell, and a red bandana.